During the 1970s and 80s, Dynamo Dresden dominated the old East German Football League. However, following reunification, they suffered a decline in fortunes and have spent the past 20 years languishing in the lower leagues. But there are now signs that Dynamo are on their way back. The city of Dresden was extensively rebuilt after the Allied bombing campaigns of World War II. Situated on the banks of the River Elbe, it's home to over 500,000 people. This season, Dynamo Dresden have competed in the 3rd division of German football. Yet despite this, they've still been attracting large crowds to their home games. Michael Hefferle has captained the team this year.
It's a really good feeling to play for a club with a great tradition. At every match, there are more than 30,000 fans. The whole city basically lives for the club, and the people here love Dynamo Dresden. That's why this club is so special. It has character, and the club is woven into the fabric of the city. People live for the club, and of course, as a player, that is something you really become aware of, and it's great.
Dynamo began the season strongly and were favourites for promotion early on. The club's sporting director is their former player Ralf Minge. From 1980 to 1991, he made 222 appearances for the team, scoring over 100 goals. In that time, Minge helped Dynamo to 3 national titles, 4 domestic cups and a UEFA Cup semi-final appearance. In 1990, German reunification led to the end of the East German Oberliga.
That division totally collapsed. We started playing in the Bundesliga, and we managed to stay in that league for 4 years. But then it all went downhill very fast. We suffered on the pitch and off it too, financially. We dropped down to the 3rd division, and that's where we find ourselves today.
At the turn of the century, Dynamo even slipped down into the 4th tier of German football. Over the decade, they bounced between the 2nd and 3rd divisions. But when Ralf Minge returned to the club as sporting director in 2014, things began to look up. That year, Justin Eilers also moved to Dresden from Wolfsburg's 2nd team, and he's been the 3rd division's top scorer this season.
There was a huge difference for me in coming from Wolfsburg to Dresden. The fan culture alone is completely different. In Wolfsburg, there are maybe 200 or 300 spectators at the game. But here, there are 20 to 30,000. For a forward like myself, that means a totally different feeling when you score a goal or when the team wins.
Thanks to Justin's goal-scoring exploits, Dynamo have only lost 2 games this season. A highly impressive record for their new manager, Uwe Neuhaus, who joined the club in March of last year.
The advantage for me was that I had lots of time, from March until June, to work with the players. So, when we began preparing for this season, I'd already had the chance to have a good look at the team. I was able to see which areas needed improving. I think that we got it absolutely right with our new signings. We made a lot of good decisions, and it really strengthened the team. Now we have a strong mix of experienced players and younger dynamic ones.
One of those new recruits was Ayas Osman. The 23-year-old was born in Syria, but moved to Germany when he was 5 as a refugee.
I came to Germany in 1998. There was a war, and my dad was told that he had to join the army. But he didn't want to, as he already had a young family. My father wanted a better life for us all, and so we fled to Germany. It's difficult for refugees, especially in the current climate. Some people really need help, but some just come here because Germany have said they'd be accepted. It's tough, but I'm very proud that so many of my fellow countrymen have been welcomed here.
When Transworld Sport was in town, Dynamo were at home to Holstein Kiel, with Osman pulling the strings in midfield. Well clear at the top of the table, Dynamo were looking for the win that would secure them promotion.
Even before the season began, we said that we wanted to secure promotion this year. That was the important message we wanted to send to everyone, both those inside and outside of the club. And thanks to the great results over the autumn period, we've built up a very strong momentum. The atmosphere of the games has been amazing, and there's a real buzz around the club. Our momentum has carried us through.
At home games, the hardcore Dynamo fans take their place in the K block at the Stadion Dresden. The fan who leads the self-styled ultras through their choreographed displays is Stefan Lehmann.
My role is really just one small part of a much bigger unit. I strike up a few songs, try to follow the game, and do my best to influence the team. When I see something and think, OK, we might have a chance here, the atmosphere needs a boost, I try to rally the people in the crowd, shouting, "Step on the gas, the boys need us, we're 1-0 behind and we need to do more."
In this game, wave after wave of Dynamo attacks were thwarted, and the score remained 0-0 going deep into the second half. 21-year-old Marvin Stefaniak was one of the standout players on show. He came up through Dynamo's youth ranks and represented Germany at the Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand last year.
My aim is to play in the Bundesliga. My contract here runs for another 4 years, but I'll see if there are any clubs who show an interest in me. I like to keep an eye on the signings made by other teams, but at the moment I'm looking forward to another few years here. I think we can really progress, and then I'll see what to do next.
On this occasion, with the Holstein Kiel goalkeeper in inspired form, Dynamo couldn't get the win to secure promotion. The game finished 0-0. However, another point in their following game was enough to see Dynamo promoted to the second division. Their fans are understandably thrilled, but aware that next season will be tough.
We need to make sure that we don't come straight back down. We have to get 40 points as fast as possible, and that's the priority. In the second division, everything is a bit different. The pace of the game will be quicker, and we need to step it up. We need to be ready for a relegation battle. We can't start thinking of promotion to the Bundesliga and going up against the likes of Bayern Munich. We can't afford to think like that. We need to be focused and realistic. We have to make a good start and beat relegation first and foremost.
Time will tell if Dynamo Dresden are on their way back to the big time, but one thing is certain: they're headed in the right direction.
There are a lot of possibilities, and Dresden have the potential to return to the top. I'm excited to see what will happen.
Was sich hier die nächsten Jahre entwickelt.